Hey y'all, hi. I'm so excited to be filming this video finally because I've done the thing. I've mightily resisted opening a box that came in the mail yesterday. Was it just yesterday? It feels like it's been a really long time because I really wanted to open it as soon as it arrived, but I didn't. There is a beauty retailer from which I have always wanted to make a purchase. It's called Violet Grey. Very luxe, very fancy. Most of what they carry is more on the luxury side, kind of on the pricey side, and that's why I've never purchased from them before. But this month, I decided to devote some of my budget for self-sponsored review to 3 items from 3 luxury brands that I've never tried, all of which are carried by Violet Grey. So I placed an order from Violet Grey. The 3 products are in this box. I'm going to open them today and try them out. So it's the first impressions, which I actually kind of like. I know that some people don't like first impressions, totally understandable. And of course, I will come back after I've had time with these products and let you know how it's gone long term. So this isn't going to be my final word on them. But I feel like, especially with luxury brands, sorry, this is where I'm getting into like long intro territory here. You know what? I'm actually just going to go ahead and finish the intro and then I'll wax philosophic about first impressions after we get into the meat of the video. If this is your first time to my channel, then yay, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Hannah. I love makeup. I love beauty products. I would even go so far as to say I love fancy things, but I don't have unlimited resources, far from it. So I don't want to spend too much money on beauty products. And when it comes right down to it, I actually don't want to own too much either. I want to own just a manageable, for me, number of beauty products. So I'm like coming at my reviews from a quality over quantity angle. And if that sounds good to you, I hope you will subscribe. Now, let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. Here is what I'm going to do. I am going to tell you how I feel about first impressions while I'm opening the box. Here's the thing about first impressions. I think that they can sometimes be valuable because they allow a viewer, and I'm speaking as a viewer of YouTube myself, they allow a viewer to kind of vicariously experience the process of receiving the thing in the mail, opening the thing, and then like seeing the thing for the first time. And I think that sometimes we who love to shop for beautiful things and we who love beautiful things, sometimes that experience is kind of like a large part of what we're buying and we don't even realize it. So I think sometimes we buy beautiful things because we really want to use them, own them and use them. And we really think that they're going to continue to add value to our life. They're going to be useful over and over again, day after day after day. They're going to provide that use value every time that you use them. And they're also going to give you pleasure every time you use them if they're beautiful things. But we who love beautiful things also love the excitement of having ordered something and waiting for it to come in the mail, the excitement of getting the box and opening it, and the excitement of seeing the things for the first time. There's nothing wrong with relishing that. I mean, I think it's absolutely natural. It's actually chemical. Like it makes sense that that anticipation would give you good feelings because that anticipation literally, scientifically, chemically releases dopamine in the brain. And that's like the feel-good chemical. But if you don't want to buy too much makeup, if you don't want to own too much, or if you don't have unlimited resources, I think it can be really helpful to make a distinction between the desire to acquire the thing and the desire to have and use the thing. And in my journey towards being more aware of that, it has been helpful to watch first impressions and unboxings because it allows me to experience the first thing. And sometimes after I've experienced that vicariously, I realize that that's all I wanted. And it saves me from buying the thing. Like I'll see someone unbox something and I'll be following along with bated breath and it'll be really thrilling and even dopamine releasing for me. And then at the end of it, I'm like, well, that was great. We're done here. I don't need to try the thing myself. I don't need to unbox it myself. And I've seen comments to that effect. I've seen some of you commenting when I've unboxed things on camera or used them for the first time, or even sometimes in deep dive reviews, you've been like, this was all I needed. And you going through this process has shown me that I don't need to spend my money to go through this process. I love to give thorough reviews. So most of the time I'm opening stuff, using it a bunch, sometimes for quite a long time, and then coming to you with a comprehensive report of how it went between the product and me. But I think that it's fun every once in a while to do this on my channel too. And again, I'll be coming back with a comprehensive report on these products later, but today this is what we're doing. Okay, let's get to it. Let's do it. This is very elegant, I feel, but not excessive. Love to see it. I like that we haven't come across any plastic packaging so far, although one of these things is in bubble wrap. But apart from that, this is like a little cardboard sleeve that the receipt comes in. I'm finding this embossing very stylish. These are the 3 products that I ordered. I'll take this one out of its bubble wrap. Now that I see them, I feel like the box was a bit excessively large. The box didn't need to be as big as it is to send these 3 products. In fact, I feel like a smaller box would have probably protected them better. But that's the only complaint that I can think of when it comes to shipping. It shipped in a timely manner and it arrived very quickly. This is the first product in its box. It's the Rouje Powder Lip Palette. I guess its full name is Les Quatre Rouges La Poudre, and it's in the shade 01 Signature. I have been fascinated by this product ever since it came across my radar because it's a powder lip palette, and I don't know, it's not like we've never ever seen it before, but it's pretty unusual right now to find a thing like this on the market. And I love a powdery, blotted, blurry matte lip, and I love these colors. I can't wait. I can't wait to touch this, but I'm going to show you the other 2 products before I get into swatching. This is product number 2 in its packaging. It's the Surrat SMOKEY Eye Baton. I think this has been on the market for a while, but I was trying to pick sort of a full face, like lips, eyes, and cheeks. So this is what I picked for eyes, and it's supposed to be kind of like an all-in-one smoky eye. So it has an eyeliner, like an eye kohl on one end, and then on the other end, this like smudgy, it's like a sponge dipped in eyeshadow powder. I feel like this is the kind of thing that could be really awkward and totally not worth it, or it could actually be really amazing depending on the formulas. I'm excited to try this out, and I got it in the shade Fumée Brune. It's like a dark, almost blackened brown. This is the third thing. You know that I wasn't going to do a video like this without trying something from Westman Atelier. And you know that I wasn't going to try something from Westman Atelier that wasn't the blush stick. This is the Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks blush stick, and it's in the shade Chouchette. It was a little bit difficult to tell from online swatches how bright this was, as opposed to being like somewhat neutral, like more of a pale, almost like a more muddy neutral shade. And I feel like it's not as bright as I had feared. It's not as pale as I would have liked, but we'll see what it looks like on the cheeks. How it looks on the cheeks is what will tell the tale. Should I swatch everything? I feel like I should swatch everything first and then get into it. I'm kind of beside myself right now. I just don't even know what to do. It's been a long time since I did anything like this. Usually my self-sponsored reviews are just like individual products. And the last time I did sort of like a haul version of self-sponsored review, it was a drugstore haul. It was like an Ulta haul. And that was at least a year ago now. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I'm going to swatch these lip powders first because I'm just dying to see how they look and how they feel. Okay, so it feels like a powder to cream kind of. Definitely dry, but then as I start swatching, it becomes sort of like silky. Almost, they remind me a little bit of the Natasha Denona cream to powder eyeshadow formula. That's the closest comparison that I can make, which I don't love in eyeshadow, but I can imagine it going really well, this formula as a lip product. Oh my gosh, the colors, y'all. I hope that this pink is showing just a little bit of a cool tone. I'm afraid that it won't show up this way on camera, but it has a little bit of grunge in person, just a little bit. But the one that's really getting me, honestly, is this one right here. Look at that shade of red. Wow. Based on how they felt to touch, I didn't think I was going to get very robust swatches from them. I thought that the pigment wasn't going to be so intense and wasn't going to spread so easily. The red looks a lot brighter and more cool toned than I thought that it would. It kind of reminds me of NARS Famous Red, which is the Velvet Matte Lip Crayon that I recently decluttered because it was like 7 years old. The bright red, but it's a more statement red than I thought that it was going to be, which is great for me because, you know, I've got a lot of red. It's fun to have like a super exciting one. And I feel the same way about this kind of berry red and this sort of like dusky red. Those three reds, there's actually a chance that all three of them are unique to my collection, which is amazing. And I don't know, that's not what I was thinking I would be buying when I bought this. It was all about the formula to me. But I don't know, I have high hopes for them. And then the pink, I mean, very neutral for me, very wearable. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how they work. You know, I feel like for the sake of the video, organizationally, I should continue with this product, like applying it, seeing how it goes, because that way I can break the video up into pieces and it'll be easier for you guys to navigate. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep going with this instead of swatching the other two. So I guess we're going lips first today, which is actually something that I kind of like. I like going lips first when I'm doing my makeup. On my face right now, I have the Rose Ink Concealer, my baby. And is that it? Brows. I have just a little bit of the Refi Brow Gel and the Glossier Brow Pen in my brows, and that's it. But I have a tiny bit of just like lip balm on, so I'm going to blot that off. And then I'm going to apply the palest shade, the pink one, first, and we'll see how it goes with that one. And then I'll come back and do a red before the day is done. I mean, before the video is done, not just the day, before I leave. It's darker, it's looking darker than I expected it to be. Weirdly, it's almost like a red, like a soft red, pinky red. It's so interesting. It's not like applying an eyeshadow to my lips, which I have done before. It's not like that because it does have this creamy quality once you're touching it. But it is very stain-like in that it isn't spreading or sliding at all because it's a powder. And I really like that. I feel like it's making it easy to get it to melt into my lips to become like one. I feel like I've dyed my lips this color, kind of, instead of applying a product on top of them. And I really like that. I actually feel like that looks like a very natural application, but I'm curious what will happen if I go in with a brush. So this is a synthetic bristle brush. I like that even better. I mean, I just like applying cosmetics with a brush. I feel like a brush is my tool of choice. But I think that this is probably exactly what I'll do when I use this. Go in with my finger first and then go in with a brush. I feel like the brush allowed me to overline a little bit with this product without getting too harsh of a line. It's like an easy, soft, blurry overline. And I think this would probably work even better with a natural bristle brush, but it definitely does work with a synthetic one. That's why I picked a synthetic brush, because I just wanted to test and see if I could get a synthetic brush to pick up a product with this formula, and I was able to. This is the kind of lip formula that I really love. It's like highly pigmented, but it becomes one with the lips completely, and it's almost like my lips, they're not cakey or crusty dry, but they do feel a little bit dry because they feel like themselves. It doesn't feel like there's anything on top of them. There's not a layer of something sticky or goopy, balmy, glossy, emollient even. I think I could probably add something emollient on top of this to make it shiny or make it feel a little bit more nourished. But I really like this kind of pigment as a base for a lip color. I feel like it's going to be the most long lasting, and it just has that natural look. I like it when you can see the texture in my lips, you can see that they're skin. I just like it when I can add color to my lips, but without doing some sort of smothering, plumping thing. Maybe I'm just excited. I haven't filmed in a long time because they were filming for like a week, some sort of television show in the house that's directly across the street from our house. So our street for a week was full of trucks and people and all of this equipment, people going in and out, trucks backing up and beeping, and I actually wasn't able to film. I had to like take a break because every day was noisy. So this is my first day back since the television production has packed it in. And so maybe that's why I'm feeling this way, but I feel like this is my dream lip product right now. Like just the formula, it's so exciting. Shall I go ahead and do a red. I don't want to take this off, but I have to do one of these reds for the video. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the rest of the face, and then I'll come back at the end and take this off and put on a red. That way my lips won't be overwhelming all of us for the entirety of the video. What should we do next? Let's do eyes next, because I don't know how much fallout there's going to be from this product. I just don't know what is going to happen. And you know what? I'll zoom you in so that you can really see what I'm doing. Hi, here we are. All right, I'm going to swatch this product first. I think the way you're supposed to apply it is the eyeliner first, smudgy, and then the other butt end with the spongy thing, smudgy. But let's see how it swatches. There's the liner, very creamy. And there's the eyeshadow that also swatched pretty effortlessly. Okay, so there I smudged the eyeliner with the sponge tip with eyeshadow on it, and I was able to kind of get it to blend. So that's what I'm gonna try to do on my eyes. I'm starting on just one eye because I don't know how quickly this dries down. I don't know how long it will be smudgeable. I feel like I want to use an eyeshadow brush, but first I'm going to try using my fingers because I want to see what it would be like if this was my only tool, you know? Because I think that that's the idea. I mean, it's actually not bad. It's actually not bad. And I kind of feel like the eyeshadow, two things to me are making it work. The eyeshadow is kind of sheer, you know what I mean? Or it's like, it's not too intense, and it smudges out to be pretty sort of smoky, charcoaly, soft, you know? And so that's why I've been able to get, I mean, it's not the most seamless blend of my life, but it is very, applied this in the back of a cab on the way to dinner because I'm, you know, a model or something. Like I'm just, you know, so cool that I don't have to be perfect. And it is very that, and the blend is good enough. And I feel like the reason that I was able to get a good enough blend is because of the consistency of the eyeshadow. And the other thing that's going on is I feel like the eyeshadow is kind of setting the liner as I apply and smudge it out. And I really like that. I'm going to put it on my, am I going to keep fussing with it? Okay, I'm going to put it on my other eye just like I did. And then I'm going to keep going back and forth and fussing, and we'll see what I can achieve. I don't know, y'all. It's feeling like it's hard to get it to look good. And I spend these days like quite a lot of time messing with different formulas of makeup and doing makeup. I'm not an expert or a makeup artist or something, but I feel like if I, with all the things I've tried and all the looks I've done, am having a hard time getting it to not sort of look quite messed up, like I've been crying. I don't know, how's it gonna go for just like anyone who just happens to pick this up and grab it? I feel like it's trying to market itself as something that's easy, grab and go for people who want to have like a minimalist makeup bag or don't want to fuss with their makeup too much. But I feel like I'm having to fuss with it a lot. Like I feel like I more easily get the look that I'm trying to achieve when I go in with like a single shadow and just a little brush, and I'm just like, and then maybe an eyeliner. The thing is that I really like this sort of sooty, smudgy look. I like this kind of look for me, and I really like the color. Like I really like this sort of like blackened brown color that is the combination of the two, but I'm just sort of struggling. I'm gonna go in with an eyeshadow brush. Okay, here's the thing. I have several things to say. First of all, you have to take everything that I'm about to say with a little bit of a grain of salt because I really love this look. But I feel like a lot of people require more precision than this. They don't want this. I just feel like this says, my makeup is expensive, but I'm kind of a hot mess. It's like a little bit smudgy, oil slicky, kind of like Italian movie star. I mean, it's very that. And I personally feel like that kind of thing is to die for. And it's funny, I feel like with my makeup, that is easier to manipulate, kind of. It's tempting to perfect it, and I do end up perfecting it. And so I don't end up getting this kind of eye look very often because I end up doing more precise, more of a blend, whatever. So I currently am looking in the mirror and I'm like, I love it. But I thought for the past 10 minutes as I've been doing this look, in my mind, I kept thinking, I'm about to open my mouth and say that this is a terrible product and I don't recommend it, because it has been a little bit of a struggle. When I went in with a brush and blended it, I found that the powder part of this duo blends very easily with a makeup brush. And I do think that the formulas are both quite good. And in fact, the kohl, the eyeliner, is really great. It's very creamy and I really like what it has done, especially on my lower lash line. This little tool is really good for the lower lash line because this sort of sponge, you can draw on it with the kohl and then go in with a little sponge and smudge it out. And it's just like designed for like a messy, slept in my makeup kind of lower lash line. So, for that I live. But it's been hard. It's awkward. It's small. It's dinky. I keep having to take one off and put it back on, take the other side off and put it back on. I kept having to go over because I would like smudge the wrong place and then it would get a little bit patchy and I would have to go back in, and then I went in with a brush and I went in with a smudger and went back in with a liner, all of that stuff. And it just feels like for the majority of people would be more trouble than it's worth. And I would never recommend this to like just a beginner who's like, I just want something easy to just slap on, or kind of a makeup minimalist or somebody, the kind of people that I feel like this is marketed for. I would never give this to, because I just feel like it kind of took some tinkering. So I'm giving, I guess, a kind of weird mixed review, which is to say that if you want to look like this, the way that my eyes look right now, which I haven't even put mascara on yet, I feel like it's gonna look even better. I'm saying better in quotation marks because it's better to me, but I know it's kind of a specific taste. If you want it, then this is a way to get it. But I actually can't say I really recommend this product. I think that there are a lot of issues with it. And I think that the thing that's appealing to me about it right now, the look that I've ended up with, is kind of a particular thing. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Troy Surrat, maybe this is exactly what he was going for. And he was like, all the Hannah Louise Bosons out there are having a hard time looking like Italian movie stars. I'm going to give them the smoky eye baton and they're going to get their lives. Like maybe that actually is, maybe this is the culmination of Troy's vision. And if that is the case, then I say, Troy, thank you. And I feel like actually it's starting to, there's starting to be this defined line at the top of the blend where my eyes, maybe the liner is like transferring as I'm opening my eyes. Yeah, I'm not mad at how my eyes look right now. But I think at the end of the day, this is really giving me like luxury makeup for consumers who aren't aware that the same kind of makeup is available in a much more effortless delivery mechanism and in much more effective formulas for a lower price tag from non-luxury brands. Like that's what this is giving me. People are buying it because they're like, oh, that's the thing. And they just don't realize that it doesn't have to be this hard. But this is one for which time will really tell. You will have to wait for I feel like I need to live with this in my life for like 3 to 4 weeks and see if I ever reach for it again, because I feel like I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and I'm going to be like, I want to look exactly like I did yesterday. Like that's how much I like the eye look right now. But is it going to be worth it to me to reach for this? Or am I going to be trying to get this look using other products in my collection? Like is it just the look that I like and not necessarily the product? So stay tuned. This makes me think maybe I should intentionally do a second video where I come back and review these exact 3 products, having spent like a month with them. Don't you think I'm smoldering though? I'm feeling very smoldering. Maybe this is me now. Maybe this is me every day. Maybe I went through my like no eye makeup phase And maybe now it's going to be this every time. We've moved into a new phase. We've moved into my makeup is actually soot. We've moved into I applied my makeup with the stub of a candle, a sooty candle stub. I took charcoal from the grate and applied my makeup phase. All right, time for me to stop looking at myself and move on to possibly the most exciting aspect of this video, because this brand has been taunting me for years and I've never actually tried anything. I've never actually gone and done it. And you know what? I just realized after I had placed this order, but before it had arrived, I saw that Westman Atelier released a holiday set that's 3 mini stick products. It's a mini blush, a mini highlight, her stick highlight, and her stick bronzer, all in minis for $75. That's on Sephora right now. I feel like if I'd seen that before I placed this order, I would have reviewed that instead of this, because this full size is almost $50. That's why I've never bought one before, even though thousands of people have told me that I would love it. I just couldn't do it, but I did it today. All right, let's go ahead and swatch this baby. Okay, I feel like close up under the really bright lights, it looked almost a little bit quite peachy pigmented. It kind of looked like the way that my lips look right now. I feel like from a distance, you can see that it is more pale and that it has the capacity to be more pale. But I'm surprised, I'm not unhappy about this, but I'm surprised by how sheer the formula feels. It feels very balmy isn't really the word. It just, look how much it shears out. It just feels like the pigment level is light. Almost, it's not a gel or a stain or a gel stain, but it almost feels like it has a gel stain thing going on. Okay. It's really, okay. It's really pretty. Ooh, based on the swatch, I thought I wasn't gonna like it, but I like it. I like it because that sort of semi-sheer quality meant it blended out incredibly easily, and it blended out to something that looks very natural, but the color is still there. I just feel like it actually looks way better on my actual face, actually, than even it did on the back of my hand. But that could also be because I was removing swatches of other things. The back of my hand's a mess right now. But look at that. When I was trying to decide if I really wanted to review this, and I know that it's self-sponsored review and my channel has a budget for it and all of that, but even so, it's so expensive that I really didn't want to acquire it, even just for review, unless I felt like it was something that I want it to be my default blush all the time. Anytime I have strong eyes or strong lips and I want something kind of neutral and easy for the cheeks, I'm gonna grab for it. And in order for it to be that, it has to be a color that's pretty neutral for me and kind of goes with most of what I wear, which I wish it were more neutral, but it checks that box, you know what I mean? It'll work. And it needs to be a formula that is totally foolproof, that's just gonna blend out, be seamless, that you can never go overboard with, especially not on just a first application, and that's easy to apply. And it's definitely that. I feel like there is potential for it to become what I'm hoping it will become, which is that blush that just works for everything all the time. I'll say this for it though, I'm gonna build now to see how much we can get, how much of a cheek we can get from it. Well, it's pretty buildable. My cheeks are looking so dewy right now. I don't think that is this product. I don't think it has any, yeah, there's no, as far as I can tell at close range under these lights, there's no kind of micro shimmer or anything in this. I think that there's a chance that the oils in it are helping to make my cheeks look as dewy as they do. It doesn't feel super emollient though, and I think that most of the glow that you're getting here is from just the general kind of like slightly oily or slightly kind of like dewy skincare that was on my skin, plus the concealer, which isn't dewy either, but it's not matte. It's more of like if anything, it's satin to dewy. And so just what was on my skin before, the mix of the concealer and my skincare, it's still shining through this product. And I think that's why it's looking so glowy. But I didn't have any highlighting products or anything on today. So it's good to know that it's capable of that. Here's the thing. Overall, I feel like the warmth of this cheek and lip, it's making my lids look purple. It's bringing out a little bit of a smoky purple undertone in this brown Surrat thingamajig. And I don't love that. I don't like it when my makeup ends up looking pink and purple. Personally, it's not my thing. It's not that I think it's unflattering. It's just, it's not my favorite thing for me stylistically. So I'm not really into that. And it's something that is kind of making me cool off a little bit about the eyeshadow, because I would want this look to always retain its kind of like almost bronzy blackened brown quality. I just wish it were a little bit more warm toned, so that if it were going to lean in one direction or another, it would lean neutral instead of leaning like a little bit purple. I have no complaints about the cheek. If I were to change anything, it would be the color. I just wish that the color were a little more nuanced, a little bit more different, a little bit more nude on me, rather than being like having the bright quality that it has. That's often my complaint with blush. That's often my complaint with blush ranges, because I'm so pale. The colors that are like the most neutral, or like the bottom line, like the most basic shade in the range, will often show up as a quite bright color on me. And I'm always wishing that I then had, if they would go a step further into like neutrality or even into paleness, so that I could have something that has that slight touch, you know, rather than being a little bit of a strong statement cheek as we have here. But in terms of the formula and the ease of application, I think this does have a shot at becoming the blush that I want it to become. I forgot to say about the eyes, this eye product that I didn't prime. I forgot to prime my eyelids today, which I almost never forget to do. So that could also be part of why I was struggling a little bit with patchiness. And I am noticing too, it's getting a little bit of that glamorous rock star dewy creasiness, which I don't mind. I'm kind of into that, but that is happening. We'll definitely need more time with this one, but I'm following its future career with great interest. Let's do a red. Let's do a red. This lip, I'm glad I had it on for all this time. It feels exactly the way that it felt when I applied it. It feels like my lips. It just feels like my lips. Actually, before I take it off, you know what we should do? Let's put a lip balm on top of it and see what happens. This is the closest thing to like a clear or neutral lip balm that I could find. I know that it looks blue, but it's not really that blue. So it's the Blue Agave Lip Mask from Kaleidos. It's really just like clear, but I mostly want to see texturally what happens. Yeah, it's fine. It's the color, the lip powder that was on my lip is faring pretty well. I think that what this shows me is that any of these 4 powders can be turned into something more emollient with the addition of another product. So I feel like I could mix this powder with like a clear lip gloss and get a gloss version of this color. I feel like just wearing the blotted powder lip, like the dry lip around, would work for a couple hours. And then if I felt like my lips were getting too dry, I could add just a basic chapstick or something on top and it wouldn't mess it up. It's blending in elegantly with the other product. So that's great. I didn't expect that adding something emollient would mess it up or break it up or something, but I just wanted to test it. And just lastly, before I take it off, just to see the color, I feel like this pale powder, it's ending up to be more of like a rich, deep peach. On me, again, it's partly the contrast because I'm very pale, but it's turning out to be more of a rich, deep peach than like that pale, almost putty color that I expected or hoped it would be, that I thought it might be based on the pictures, some of the swatches I saw online, and even based on the way that it looks in the pan. I'm not mad at it because it is a really pretty color, but just of note. That's the kind of information I would have wanted if I was watching this review. I'm actually going to powder a little bit. While we're at it, I'm going to use this amazing fluffy powder brush from the Rephr holiday set. I didn't powder when I put the concealer on originally because I knew I was going to be putting a cream blush on. Okay, which color should we go with? I feel like the thing to do, well, I feel like it's got to be one of these dark two, partly because that really bright pinky red I don't think would go very well with the mustardy chartreuse top that I'm wearing. But which one? This one, because look at how it goes with the eyes. And also this is the most unexpected for me. This is the one that I feel like I'll use the least. So this is what we're doing, this like plummy one. Okay, so that is just dipping in once and applying it just with my fingers. And it didn't take very long. So that's kind of like the natural, I almost feel like, yeah, it's really sturdy. This is sort of like the natural, quick way that you can get it to look. But again, I'm gonna go in with the brush and I'm going to try to like get a more diffused and overlined look. I love the way this applies with a brush. This is so fun. I feel like this is making this color very wearable for me. I don't like colors like this usually in lipstick because I feel like the statement's too strong on me. I feel like they tend to be too dark, too bold. And I also feel like they tend to be messy. They get all over my teeth, they get all over my skin, and it's hard to make the edges look nice. The edges are gonna be like uneven. It's gonna make my mouth look crooked, more crooked than it actually is. Because you know, everyone's mouth is a little asymmetrical, especially mine. So I shy away from colors like this. That's why I don't own any. But two things are going on with this. One, because it's that blotted powder texture, I'm able to get an application that looks very natural. I feel like it's sort of sheer. Like I was able to sheer it out and blend it into my skin. Sorry, I'm trying to like talk and continue applying it at the same time. The way that I was able to diffuse and sheer out the pigment, I feel like makes it sit naturally on my lips. It doesn't look unbalanced. And then the other thing is that because of the way that it just sticks to the lips and is part of my face, almost like a stain, it doesn't feel messy either. So both of the issues that I have with dark, almost plummy reds like this, both of them are solved by the formula, and that's really exciting. Of the three products, this is the one that's exciting me the most. Like this is the one where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that I decided to review this. I'm excited about the possibilities. This one is like the winner of the day for sure. So which one is exciting me the most? This one. Which one do I think I'm gonna wear the most? Honestly, this. Like I just feel like I'm gonna be wearing this nonstop. It's definitely easy and natural and you know, everything that I said that I hoped it would be. And then this is like a big question mark / kind of fussy, don't know if I'd recommend it. But also it's sort of like kicked off a new era in my relationship with eye makeup. I feel like it's taught me something, but maybe we're not going to be best friends. Only time will tell. I'm going to zoom out. Those were my final thoughts. I was going to zoom out for my final thoughts, but I feel like I just gave my final thoughts. Actually, I will. I'll zoom you out for my final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts. The Rouje, Les Quatre Rouges, La Poudre Powder Lip Palette. Yes, 1,000 times yes. I would spend my own money on this today, which I hadn't done, even though I've had my eye on it, because I was like, well, I have so many lip products. I have so many reds. I love lipstick. I have so much lipstick. I wasn't feeling compelled to like collect new lip products. The idea with self-sponsored review is largely that I acquire things with my channel's budget for review that I'm not out here spending my own money on, spending my own budget on. So when I buy something for self-sponsored review, it's usually something that I actively am not seeking to buy myself, but that I have an interest in reviewing. So that was the case with this. And the reason that I wasn't actively considering buying it myself was that I am happy with my collection of lip products. I was just really curious about the formula and the way that it would apply. It was just kind of an academic interest, which is why I decided to buy it for this academic video, this review. Now that I have applied 2 of the 4 powders to my lips and seen how the formula acts and seen how the swatches look, now if you took it away from me, I would spend my own budget on it today. Of course, we'll see if I still feel like that, in a month when I come back. We'll see if I've actually been wearing it. But right now, today, that's the high praise that I feel like I can, in good conscience, give to this. I actually am so excited about it that I'd buy it myself. The Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks blush, I don't think I would buy this myself today. Of course, we'll see. Maybe in a month I'll have worn it every single day. I'll feel like it's indispensable, and maybe then I will change that statement. But right now it's just, again, I have a lot of beautiful blushes, and even though it does feel like it's striking that balance of being like the perfect luxury blush in the effortless formula and the lovely color, and everything is perfectly balanced about it, such that I could see it being a person's one and only, and I could see it becoming my main squeeze, Even though all of that is true, for me, I like having options. I like having different formulas. And so to spend $48 when I already have so many beautiful blushes and so many options, and I enjoy having those options, it just feels like it's a little bit contradictory, because I feel like you buy this if you're just looking to have one blush. You know what I mean? Or if you're just looking to have a perfect blush, or maybe 3 blushes or something, and you want them all to be as exquisite as this one. And that's just not my situation. So it's going to be exciting to get to know it better. I'm glad that I'm reviewing it. But today, if you took this away from me, I would just go back to using the rest of my blush collection. And this, the Smoky Eye Baton, again, I'm very torn, but I just don't think so. Like right now, it feels the least worth it to me of all 3 of these products. My happiness with my eye look today notwithstanding. Although I would be happier with this eye look if it were a little bit, if you just took the purple undertone out completely. I didn't expect it to have a purple undertone at all. I thought it was going to be more of like a mix of black and brown. And it's sort of, I don't know if the powder on my hand doesn't look purple at all. I feel like maybe that undertone is in the liner. Yeah, I think that undertone, even though it doesn't look purple at all, I think it's kind of coming out of the way that the liner looks when contrasted with more pink and red shades on my face. But it doesn't really lean purple. I'm just not obsessed with this kind of like cool toned eye with these peachy face products. If I were to wear this again, I would definitely go for like a really grungy, super neutral cheek, or I would just use highlighter on my cheek and not blush, or, something a little bit more of that like simple, stark, grungy look than this. I don't know though. I'm completely torn about this Smoky Eye Baton. I didn't like using it, but right now, if I were going to go out to dinner, for example, this is the exact look that I would want on my eyes. If I was going to almost anything, this is the exact look that I would want on my eyes. So the question remains, like, do you need this product to get this look? I think that we all know that the answer is no. And at this point, I don't think I'd recommend this. I think that I just kind of recommend the look that I got with it. But I won't know that for sure until I try to replicate this look a number of times with my other product. So when I come back to review this fully, I will have tried that and I'll let you know how it went. And that is it, y'all. That's my unboxing of my violet gray order, my first impressions of these products, and kind of like my initial assessment of them. Overall, it was a pleasure ordering from Violet Grey. I don't think I expected it to be otherwise, but I wasn't surprised. It was exactly what I thought it would be, an incredible pleasure and privilege. I'm not in a position to be spending $48 on blushes and lip palettes just hither and thither and yon in my life, but it is an absolute joy to be able to do it every once in a while for my channel. It was really fun to be able to get these products and test them for this video and for the future video in which I give my thorough reviews of them. I hope that it was fun for you to watch. If you have been thinking about placing an order from Violet Grey and you're wanting to know like how it goes when you do a thing like that, it goes well. If you've been interested in any of these products, I hope that I was able to enlighten you a little bit about what it's like to, get them and unbox them. But most of all, if you've been tempted by luxury makeup recently because you're just feeling stuck, it's been a really hard couple of years, you've been feeling down, you've been thinking about treating yourself to some wildly expensive stuff, especially if you've been feeling that way and you know that it wouldn't be the best financial decision for you, I hope that I was able to give you like a sense of the realism of the experience. Like the reality of the experience of buying luxury makeup is just that you open it, you swatch it, you put it on your face, and then it either works or it doesn't. just the same as with every kind of makeup. So hopefully from the position of having watched this video and been through this with me, you can make a really good decision about whether buying products like this or shopping from a site like this, getting the box in the mail, opening the box, playing with the product, and then having and using the product, if that is something that will truly bring you some joy to the tune of it being worth it to you to spend the money, or if maybe just watching this video was enough. Whatever it is, I hope that you enjoyed spending the time with me. I thank you so much, and I really, really hope that you're taking extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.